Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Blackfoot Book Club and another edition from my essential film reviews collection. And this one is slightly different in as much as it's an instant reaction piece that I wrote over 6 years ago back in 2017 for the incredible film Get Out, directed by Jordan Peele. Mere hours have passed since I left the darkness of my local picture house after seeing this edgy psychological horror film from Jordan Peele, and it hasn't been far from my thoughts in the intervening time between leaving the cinema and commencing this article. To write and direct such a fresh take in the psychological horror genre, and in your debut film to boot, is an incredible achievement from Peele, and one hopes this may serve as a template for a resurgence in such a cliched-ridden form of shock horror cinema. From the moment our two main protagonists reached their weekend destination, I had a constant feeling of dread and unease, as well as a creeping anxiety and wish to look away from the screen. The beauty of which being the slow layering of the outward antipathy, but through smiling eyes and welcoming embraces, awkward questions or a sideways glance, rather than the standard horror tropes of modern films for loud scares and ghostly apparitions. For they are here too, both the scares and the ghosts, but of the humankind, still living and still breathing, but taking on a rather different guise and character. But where this film excels is in its darkly comedic interludes, and backed by so many well-crafted and well-rounded characters, whilst also shining a light on the incredibly difficult subject of racism and tackling it head-on. Again, steering clear of the old and worn stereotypes of racists only being ill-educated, lower-class yobs. Here they are well-heeled, middle-aged and middle-class, and they all have a penchant for a rather distasteful and alternative game of bingo. Get Out excels by dragging you into the narrative from the very first frame as an innocent black man is kidnapped walking along a quiet residential street, juxtaposed with the quaintly old-fashioned Flanagan and Allen ditty Run, Rabbit, Run. And a disturbing metaphor for the film is quickly established. The musical choices, as well as Michael Abel's overall tension-inducing score, brilliantly accompanies the film, with Redbone by Donald Glover used when introducing our main character Chris Washington, Daniel Kaluuya, and I've Had the Time of My Life by Bill Medley and Jennifer Warnes to darkly comedic effect as the film approaches its denouement. Chris Washington is an affluent and happy professional photographer who is 5 months into a blissful relationship with girlfriend Rose Armitage, Alison Williams. There is no colour bar between the two young lovers, however, they are travelling to Rose's parents for the weekend for the very first time as a couple, and Chris cannot help but awkwardly ask, "Do they know I'm black?" Rose waves away the question with a laugh, but as the ugly spectre of racism rears its head so soon in the film, she firmly reassures her beau, "Well, I'm not going to let anyone fuck with my man." As they reach Rose's parents, the subtle layers, looks, a single word, or an awkward phrase begin to raise the tension in the household and the opulent surroundings of the home of Missy Armitage, Catherine Keener, and Dean Armitage, Bradley Whitford. Whereas Dean is excitable and slightly unhinged, Missy is more reserved and watchful, and as we soon discover, a professional psychiatrist. Before the weekend truly begins, Rose's brother Jeremy Armitage, Caleb Landry Jones, arrives to truly seal the increasing portents that things aren't quite as calm and serene as they appear to be in this family reunion, with an off-kilter performance and indeed dress style reminiscent of Brad Pitt's brilliantly erratic character Jeffrey Goins in the Terry Gilliam directed 12 Monkeys. It may not be deliberate, hinted at, or even contemplated, but Jones's portrayal of Jeremy is perfectly and awkwardly unhinged, reminding me so much of Pitt's turn in 12 Monkeys. So what could possibly go awry for Chris under such welcoming circumstances? Hypnotised by Missy and thrown into the maelstrom of a gentrified and predominantly all-white weekend party, Chris seeks solace in the embrace of girlfriend Rose and that of the black servants employed by the family However, with their far-off stares, robotic-like movements and permanently fixed smiles, all is clearly not well, and Chris has but one last anchor on which to fall, his friend Rod Williams, Lil Ray Howery. Howery's performance here brings much comedic lightness and relief, and it's to him that the majority of the film's best lines fall, from his allusion to the Kubrick movie Eyes Wide Shut, references to sex slaves, multi-murderer Jeffrey Dahmer, or his simple refrain of "Man, I told you not to go in that house." And Chris clearly shouldn't have. With the claustrophobia, tension and sense of dread constantly building, Get Out immediately reminded me of Kevin Smith's magnificent and still underrated 2011 gem, Red State. For religious zealotry in Red State, read white privilege and repellent racism here. Get Out is a brilliantly original horror while overtly highlighting the awkward racist undertones of being a minority in a society still apt to exploit those weakest amongst you whilst championing the merits of others. Add to this the magnificent performances of Kahlua, Howery, Keena and Landry Jones, and you have a brilliantly unexpected debut film from Jordan Peele. And that was Get Out from 2017, directed by Jordan Peele. And I leave you in peace and in solidarity, and I thank you so much for watching. Please take care out there, everyone. Peace!